Please support ReviewTechUSA by clicking the link in the description. Enjoy the video.
Ooh, look at me. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Rich of ReviewTechUSA here, and you're probably wondering why I have a Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis cartridge in front of you right now. Well, the answer is very simple. In the early 90s, Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive depending on where you're from, and the Super Nintendo were king of the consoles. I mean, these guys were wicked competitive against each other, constant TV ads. But towards like 93 and 94, there was this funky time where strange companies or smaller companies were trying to take a piece of the gaming console pie. You know, Commodore came out with a 32-bit system, you had 3DO, and there were even a couple others that I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but it was a very strange time for gaming. There were a lot of systems out there, almost as many as there were in the early 80s. Now, it was interesting, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was contacted by Stone Age Gamer. They thanked me, they said congratulations, and then on top of it, they said we're gonna send you a surprise for hitting 1,000 subscribers. I'm thinking, you know, a couple Atari games, maybe a couple controllers, something small. I would have appreciated it no matter what, but I wasn't expecting what I got. Well, here it is. The Atari Jaguar. Now, the Jaguar hit store shelves in the US in 1993, and it went across seas in 1994, and it bombed hard. And to be honest with you, it was pretty much deserved. To code for the sloppily designed hardware was a nightmare. It had a very weak software library, and the controllers, in my opinion, aren't as bad as other people will tell you, but they just were obsolete for what they wanted this system to do. But let's get started, shall we? And we'll start with a look at the box. Obviously, here you go. You got the Jaguar 64-bit interactive multimedia system. This is the 64-bit power kit, mega power, maximum value. Sounds like they're talking about a lawnmower. Take a look at the side here. This is legal mumbo jumbo. No one really cares. This is where it gets cool. The Jaguar's a pretty good looking system. There's the picture of it. I'll actually show the real system. The Atari Jaguar 64-bit interactive multimedia system, and it gives all the specs. We got a 64-bit graphics chip, 16.8 million colors. Of course, my camera's focus is going to fail now. CD quality sound, 3D graphics with fast, realistic animation. I don't know about that in most cases. High-speed rendering faster than 850 million pixels per second. It was a very powerful system, but the biggest flaw was it was very tough to code for. A lot of times, because Atari sent out very poor development kits, a lot of times developers had to write code in assembly, which is like very low level. You need basically to know binary to write code. That's just nuts. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is boring and in different languages. But let's take a look at some of the pictures. The Atari Jaguar CD, which failed even worse than the system itself. Troy Aikman football. Smart, they just show a picture of the main title because that game looked like a Sega Genesis game. One of the very few really good games, Alien vs. Predator. Arena football, Battle Wheels, never tried it. Club Drive is absolutely horrendous. Doom, which is the first game I plan on getting for this, is absolutely amazing. There's only one flaw to it. The music's gone. Personally, to me, I don't care. Arguably, this is the best console port ever. It runs amazing. Kasumi Ninja, that's probably gonna be my second pickup for this, just because it's so bad. It's so funny. If you want to see a little gameplay footage before I get it, go to Classic Game Room. Checkered Flag. I don't hate that game as much as many people do. I have played it before. It is a little choppy, but it's not bad. It's like Virtual Racer. And the other good game for the Jaguar is Tempest 2000. It's awesome. I've tried it before. Probably the other one I'll pick up for this system. Okay, so let's take a look at the system itself. You have two female 9-pin connectors for the controllers, which is kind of strange. Most consoles came with male 9-pin connectors and the controller had a female. You have your power LED here, power switch. Interesting note about the Atari Jaguar, very smart design move, is that this will not turn on unless there's a cartridge in it. So you could click the switch all day and it will not turn on unless you have a cartridge in there. That's a good idea because it protects the unit from getting damaged. But on the flip side, why is there no dust cover on the cartridge slot? What a retarded move. The cheapest and crappiest clone systems have dust covers. This thing, when it first launched, was $250, and you don't have a dust cover on it. That's ridiculous. So right now I don't have cartridges for it, and I'm not going to put it back in the box because the box doesn't have the piece of cardboard to keep everything in place. So what the hell am I going to do? I have no real way, unless I put like a plastic bag on top, of protecting it from getting dusty. Let's look on the back. If my camera ever decides to focus, we have a open AV slot and DSP slot. Basically, to cut costs, they just had the PC board stick out with no cover on it, which kind of is a fail because, once again, dust, dirt causes problems when it comes to electronics, and if there's nothing protecting it, even though this unit was kept in very good condition, but for the normal folk out there who just don't really care about their electronics, these things could get destroyed very easily. Power here, RF here, which all I have is RF right now. That has to change, and you could change your channels for the RF. And that's really it. Nothing else special going on here with the unit itself. One last thing to note, this indent on top was where the Jaguar CD went, which I'm surprised Atari even decided to release that thing because the system itself wasn't selling well. So why release a peripheral for a poor selling system? Because peripherals sell less, but hey, whatever floated their boat. Alright, so let's take a look at the controller itself. Now, an interesting fact about the Atari Jaguar controller is that it was actually dubbed by IGN to be the worst controller of all time, which I'm gonna have to say, hell no, I don't agree with that at all. The Atari 7800 controller is the worst controller of all time. That controller, my hands hurt thinking of using that controller right now. This is actually very comfortable. The D-pad is good, the pause and option button, of course they had to name it option instead of start. You have your CBA, and you have, your phone pad here in case you want to make a phone call. The controller's design isn't that assalicious, but the problem with it is that it was obsolete from the day it came out. I mean, think about it. You already have the Super Nintendo controller with 6 buttons. The Sega Genesis controller had 6 buttons. This one, if you don't count this, because it's not really usable during gameplay, has 3 buttons. So what kind of games are they thinking of coming out with? So if you have a fighter, then you're going to have to do the whole switch thing and have to switch between kicks and punches by hitting pause or option. In other games, you need more than 3 buttons, especially in 94 or 95. Now, they did come out with a revised controller that did have 3 more small buttons up here, but it was such an afterthought. Many people who used it said it was very uncomfortable and it just didn't work that well. So that's where this controller sucks, is it was obsolete from the day that it came out. Now, one thing cool about this controller is that when you play games like Doom, is you could use the phone pad here to actually instantly switch between guns, which is really cool. So if you want to go to a shotgun, you would hit 2, for example. I don't have the overlay here, obviously. And if you want to go to the BFG, you would hit 6 or 7, wherever it is. That actually worked out pretty well. But I wish they just thought about putting more buttons on top. I mean, you instantly made this controller so dated. So would I tell an aspiring collector to go out right now and get an Atari Jaguar? No. A couple reasons. One is that because this console is somewhat rare, it's expensive. And 2, if you're looking to get into old school gaming, there isn't that many really good titles for the Atari Jaguar. Doom is really good, Tempest 2000 is really good, Alien vs. Predator is awesome, but beyond the collector's value, it's not a system you're going to take out that often and play. Well, once again, this is Rich of ReviewTechUSA. I have to give a huge thank you to Stone Age Gamer. Guys, please go check out StoneAgeGamer.com. If you're into retro gaming, you're going to love it there. They have awesome prices, awesome products, and I have to thank them again for sending this out to me. I mean, words can't describe how appreciative I am. So thanks, guys, for watching. For more gaming and technology reviews, go to ReviewTechUSA.com. Ooh, look at me. I'm a bird. I'm a bird. I have to tweet every friggin' time you try to record footage. Let me tweet while you record footage, so all you hear is chirping in the background. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Exactly.